girls. So today I'm in the hot seat. I've been sent some questions by members over the last couple of months, and I'm going to be answering those questions for you. So the first question is, who am I? Well, I'm Mandeep Maitra, and I have over 3 decades of experience, the last decade having been overseas. In India, my claim to fame has been my contribution into HR in the banking space, and more so specifically in HDFC Bank, where I spent about 11 years taking the bank from some less than 1,300 people to over 80,000 in the bank and the affiliate companies. Um, I think this was one of a place where I had good fun, and today the bank is doing fabulously well. We got lots of awards for the kind of path-breaking work we did in HR at that point in time. But when I look back, I see my journey in the banking space as something done and dusted with. The story that started post that 10 years back was when I landed in Singapore. Singapore, I was working in consulting and coaching space. I set up my own practice and I was working with my professor in London from business school. And we were working with some of the blue chip companies in Singapore and some of the big banking clients as well. So the big thing that I learned in Singapore was to be humble. Humility is a big virtue in Singapore. People are very soft spoken, they take pride in the way they work, and you never have to follow up. And that's a lovely thing to learn about a country which really runs like a very well-oiled machinery. Perfect law and order, very good education system, and a great life for an expat. Then we went to Paris. Paris was a great experience to live in. We were living just 400 meters from the Eiffel. I enjoyed the beauty of the place. It was so much to soak in. Everything was aesthetically very pretty. The food, the wine, the way the people interact with you, the warmth, the language, it was splendid. But what the place taught me is that less is more. That's the French way of doing things. They're not ostentatious at all. They're not loud about anything, the way they do things. When they ask you, what do you do? They're not asking you or pecking you into where you come from, which house or which place do you live, which car do you drive. They actually are asking you as to what do you like to do. Do you like to paint? Do you like to ski? Do you like to swim? Are you into riding, etc., etc.? So I really love the way they actually value the privacy. They actually ask, what's your name at a very later point in time in a discussion. You could spend a whole evening with someone and not even get to that part. So there is a lot to learn from the French, but you also learn that our country has some amazing things while you are living overseas. And I think one of the things I learned is that we are very emotional as Indians. We are able to show our warmth and affection very well, which the French as well do. But if you're not a Francophile, like meaning loving everything which the French do, you could be a little bit in a trouble. And I think I enjoyed living in France also because a lot of my work, my business partner happened to be based in London, and we had European clients throughout Europe, and we traveled a fair amount and worked that way. Coming back in 2019, back to India, I am happy that I'm back. I'm setting up my practice again. I met a lot of people, and a lot of women specifically, who always reminded me of the work I did with women while I was in human resources, and because I've been championing the cause of women a long time. And I have always continued to be very passionate about helping people realize their potential. And that is what I do in consulting and coaching, and I've done it all my life. So I'm back here now. So I have a second question. Why did I create WiP? Well, as I said, I was meeting a lot of women who said that they were working, but they were missing me because I had created that sisterhood of strength kind of feeling wherever I went. And some of the women who had left their careers in the banks where I had previously worked, they were pursuing their own interests. They had become entrepreneurs. Some of them were dabbling into various other careers. And this gave me an idea that why don't we create a platform where we all women could come together and actually co-create something. and collaborate on various things. Because my stint in Paris and London taught me that actually a lot of us used to come together to work on a project and go back our way. When you're pitching for a bigger project, it's very difficult to do it alone. You do need more people. So if you have like-minded people, it works very well. And I realized that when I came to India, that it doesn't come easily to people to collaborate here. There is always a hesitancy about trust and about things like that. So if you have a safe platform where women come to know each other personally, perhaps they would dabble with thinking about working together. That was the interest. So I had a few things in mind. Let's create a platform where women network and they get to know each other informally. They come to know each other very well. Let's create a kind of a sisterhood of support where women are able to talk about their challenges and their trials, but at the same time celebrate their triumphs and wherever they have been successful. That was very, very important. And I wanted also, I have seen that as women and as people that we grow, sometimes we miss out on learning and investing in our own growth and learning. And I think it's very important to stay relevant. That is something that I have always believed in. So I thought, why not curate some articles, some subjects, and share that knowledge with people? Have knowledge sharing and skill as skill building, share that with people. And that is why all the guests that we are calling in our Wonder Woman Wednesdays have come from different professional backgrounds, whether it is storytelling, whether it is Reiki and meditation, whether it is clinical psychology, whether it is being an entrepreneur, somebody like Supriya who did it in saris, or we will have some more people come in into who have got into daycare and early learning. And we are planning to line up a lot of people who can share things about nutrition, parenting, and name it. And that all depends on what you like. So this is why we created WiP. And how WiP evolves is completely up to you. So the next question that I have in hand is, where do you get your mojo from? Well, where do I get my mojo from? My therapist would have said it's my mother in my head. But honestly, work-wise, I am very driven. I'm very scared of being obsolete. And I'm scared of not knowing what people are talking about. So I really invest in reading a lot. And I have all the possible subscriptions that you could think about. And I spend a lot of time in keeping up to date with what's happening in the areas I'm interested in management, in future of work, in leadership, and transformation. These are the areas of which I am currently working with. So that is where I'm self-charged when it comes to my areas of work. But otherwise, you can't get me out of bed. I do not have mojo when it comes to doing an exercise, when it comes to do with anything to go on a diet. I recently realized I went on a diet with my husband, and in 10 days, I gave it up. I just didn't have it in me to continue that diet. So I think there are things which I am very charged about. Keeping up the house, trying my hands at cooking, but not all the time. So I think the positive spirit that I have, which radiates on me, is usually to do with the kind of work that I do. The next question is, targeting women who do not have corporate careers? Not true, actually. When we set up WiP, I really was thinking that it would be more for women with second careers, and exploring options as to alternate career choices and at a stage of life in their careers. But I purposefully invited a lot of women who have great jobs at this point in time. Because if you see the subjects that we are discussing, whether it is an imposter syndrome or talking about emotional baggage or talking about body image, these are issues which concern all women. Could be working or women who are right now at home or exploring some other options. So I think it is very important to have a kind of a synergy between the energies of those who are currently working and those who are not. Because I realize that women who are working as well, they tend to have insights into the areas of their work, but they miss out on a lot of other things which are happening all around. So not really. I'm looking at women in general, not just targeted one group. How are we different from other professional groups like LinkedIn? Well, other professional groups like LinkedIn are a little formal. You reach out to someone for just the sake of networking and you do not know much about them. Whereas here, because it's a closed group, you will get to know the people. And people, when they're making presentations to you as masterclasses or being speakers to you, you could write to any of those people and saying, listen, I want to get some tips in influencing someone or an entrepreneur skills, or how did you go about doing this, or raising capital, or so on and so forth. This happens easily when you are a close group of people and you can seek advice informally. That is the idea of creating a close group, which is better than a professional network like that, a LinkedIn. So the last big question is, what plans do we have for WiP? Well, that totally depends on you. We have been asking you feedback. Some of you tell us informally, not may not post the comments, and keep writing to us. But we have a lot of things lined up. In the coming month alone, we have the Mother's Day celebration happening, when we're asking all of you to post pictures with your moms or your children and write about your biggest motherhood lesson. We do have a member get member kind of a thing lined up for you. We have master classes lined up on Reiki. We have a masterclass lined up on anxiety and panic as well. We are planning to call up somebody to talk about parenting issues in the days of COVID. We are going to continue our discussion incidentally on COVID and get some more advice. We're going to get some nutritionist advice as well. We have quite a few things lined up, and it will keep happening. If we get more feedback from you, it will get better. I just wanted to tell you that I'm happy that we have actually applied for the trademark for the WiP logo that we have, because we are serious about expanding, growing our community, and then looking at how we could create this into a successful resource list of people, and more plans when we go ahead with it. But at this point in time, I just wanted to say that it's a pleasure to answer some of the questions. And it's nice meeting you like this instead of writing things. I know the times are not good. I know that it is a little depressing these days with all the news that is happening and all our friends and family going through some challenging times. Losing some of the loved ones and not being able to reach out to them. And so from my side, I just want to say that please, I hope you and your families stay healthy and stay safe in these times. We will continue to be in this time together with you. We'll hang in together with you, and we'll pray together with you. Thank you.